Hi everyone, my name's Ruth. I'm a Senior Project Manager here at TechTarget, and I'm delivering 5 tips in 5 minutes on how to prepare to present a webinar. I've been with the team for about 3 years, and I've seen all sorts of videos, virtual events, and webinars delivered. And you may not know this, but I'm a very nervous presenter. So these are the tips that I use anytime I need to deliver a video recording or a live webinar. My first tip is to start with an outline. So I start by just jotting down the key points that I want to get across in my session. I can then take them and order them and give myself a little bit of structure. And if I'm presenting with others, this is a great way to decide who will speak to each topic or answer each question. It's a fantastic resource for keeping yourself on message as you go through rehearsing and discussing the content. You can go back at any time and revisit what your intention was when you began. My second tip is to get really familiar with your content. It's tempting to script, but I highly recommend against this as it does tend to encourage reading. What I would recommend instead is to have your outline, build some slides with notes, and then rehearse it until you're really confident just glancing at your slides as a point of reference. I recommend rehearsing by self-recording. It gives you something you can send around for feedback, which helps if you're a little bit newer to presenting or feeling particularly nervous. And it also gets you used to presenting to an audience who you may not be able to see. I recommend rehearsing until about a day or two prior and then stopping, as you do want to still sound fresh on your live day. My third tip is to choose your location wisely. Well ahead of time, have a look around your house or your office and choose a quiet location where you can close the door and where there's good natural light. In an ideal world, we'd have you stand or sit facing a window, and if that's not possible, we'd encourage you to bring a lamp in with you. Now, you may find you're working in a conference room where you don't have your monitor stand, in which case you may need to get creative with how you raise your webcam to eye level. You can use boxes, books, or reams of paper to do this. Don't forget your headphones, and of course, make sure you book that conference room with a little bit of time before and after so that you're not rushed setting up or packing down any equipment you bring in with you. My fourth tip is to plan for the worst and hope for the best. In a digital world, there are lots of things that can go awry. So the first thing I recommend is recruiting a colleague to support you in managing the platform you use so that you can focus on the presentation. A little tip, if you are working with BrightTalk, we do have technicians who can fill this role for you. Make sure you've got a backup plan for internet disconnections, particularly if you're presenting live. Practice swapping between your primary connection and your backup, often your mobile hotspot, ahead of time so that you can get that down from an awkward 2-minute pause to a swift 30 seconds. And of course, always test your connection to the platform ahead of time. So if you do need to bring IT in and give you any additional permissions, you're not trying to do that 30 minutes before live. My fifth tip is to give yourself some time ahead of your webinar or recording session. Now, a lot of invites will include some prep time, but that's time where you need to be chatting with fellow presenters or doing final tech checks. This time is for you. It's time that you can eat lunch, go for a walk, or put on your favorite shirt. And the busier you are, the more you need this. If you've been in back-to-back meetings, you haven't eaten, and you're worrying about the state of your hair or your shirt is wrinkled, and you then attempt to present, chances are you're not going to feel all that great about your presentation at the end of things. Coming in with a full belly, legs stretched, your favorite shirt on, you're going to be a lot more calm and confident in your presentation. So really do make sure that you take that time. So those are my 5 tips to prepare for a webinar or recording session, and I hope they've been useful. Don't hesitate to check out the other videos in this series, and I'll see you again soon.